Hey, unmute.
Oh, what's up? What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Faithful Dogs podcast. My bad on that. I honestly thought it unmutes you as soon as you take the video off a loop. But
It mutes you when you put the video on.
yeah, I thought it unmuted me. Well, whatever. We're here. We're going. It's been a weird start to the night for this show.
In my show.
I think each of us had internet issues to start. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if we all have Spectrum or what's going on with that.
It is that, hold on a second. You might be onto something here.
I think Spectrum does not want us recording FDP tonight. I don't think they're Browns fans.
They might not be.
So how you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Other than Spectrum.
Yeah, I can even tell we're all kind of like glitching out over here.
Yeah, I have Xfinity in Pennsylvania, and it hasn't been the greatest to me lately. So.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But hey, maybe other than that, I'm doing pretty good.
Maybe we have to make this a quick one because I can tell our internets are kind of.
No, we're good. We got it. Just go as far as we're allowed to go until Spectrum turns off.
Until you see me just out of nowhere, just leave the lobby. Then we're done for the night. Well, okay, boys, we got a few things to get into tonight. Obviously, the Browns have a huge win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, improved to 4-7. Please let me know if I start glitching out, lagging out, whatever. But the Browns have a huge win. Thanks, bro. I mean, thank you. You look good too, Joe. Browns have a huge win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, improved to 4-7. Obviously, the most anticipated return of a quarterback in Cleveland Browns history is on the horizon. With everyone thinking now he can go 6-0. How do you guys feel though after that win against, even though they're having a rough year, Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still a good team. They still have the GOAT at quarterback. How are you guys feeling after that win?
Fantastic. It was seriously like watching that game, Cooper dropped that pass in the fourth, and I was just like, oh my God, here's another loss. Like, great. Like, can't just catch the ball. And then they get it back. And I was like, okay, here we go. And then they just marched down the field. And I was like, okay, where's the false start? Where's the illegal formation? Where's the offensive pass interference? Where is it? Mm-hmm. It didn't happen. And then a beautifully thrown ball and an even better catch. And now, 4 wins was like the minimum that the Browns fans had to target coming into the season with Deshaun getting the 11 games, anywhere from 4 up. It didn't look good to even get to 4. We got there somehow, and now we're rocking and rolling. We have a quarterback finally, fellas.
Yeah, and I was kind of talking about beginning of the 11th game suspension when that was announced. I was thinking if Jacoby can get us to 5-6, 6-5, we're probably smooth sailing, And realistically, if you look at it from that perspective, yeah, if you look at the AFC picture, if we were 6-5 right now, we're sitting pretty. 5-6, you're in the middle of the hunt. Right now, you're 4-7, and I know a lot of people are looking at the AFC playoff picture and they're looking at crap. We lost to the Jets. We lost to the Patriots. We lost to the Chargers. All of those tiebreakers, and that I feel like that's like a yearly occurrence for us when we're actually in the hunt, when we're actually in that graphic, in the hunt. Cleveland Browns. It's always, oh yeah, but we lost all the tiebreakers. So let's go into that a little bit. When you look at that, Jack, how are you feeling right now? Are you feeling optimistic? Do you think, say we do somehow win out these next 6 games, we go 10-7, how are you feeling?
Well, honestly, at this point, I think most of us are just along for the ride. Like, obviously, we would love it if somehow all of the games that our opponents needed to lose, they lost all those, and we were able to somehow sneak into the playoffs. But I think a lot of us at this point are just happy that we've kind of gotten to a point where we're at least comfortable with the way the season has kind of gone. Obviously, you wish you could have a lot of those possessions back, a lot of those games back where you lost by 1 possession or there was one bad play that maybe, swung it in the opposite direction. I mean, the Jets game, the Falcons game, all these games. But at the same time, I think, like, if this season ends up with us winning maybe 4 or 5 out of the last 6 games, and the offense looks good, and maybe the defense looks like a more cohesive unit, and even if we do go 10-7 and we end up missing the playoffs, I think we can all be happy with the way that the season has at least played out after week 11. But obviously, you want to be able to make the playoffs. And the fact that we haven't been eliminated, the fact that there is still a chance means that I'm going to get my hopes up. I don't care. I'm going to have my expectations high until we are mathematically eliminated. That's just how it goes.
Yeah.
I've said that to one of my friends for a while. I was like, until the Browns are no longer mathematically in the playoffs in the hunt, then I'm going to have hope. And now I have even more hope. We have Deshaun Watson coming back. The offense has looked great without him. And it's looked great with Jacoby Brissett. And that's not a knock on Jacoby. This is the best football Jacoby Brissett has ever played in his career. Mm-hmm. And he'd be on a pace. I think it was like a little over 4,000 yards. And it was like 19 touchdowns, or not 19, either 19 or 29 touchdowns and 9, whatever it was. All right, cool. That'd be great. And like, if we had that for the season, okay. But now we have someone who's even more dynamic. So I'm even more excited. And I'll be doing a predictions piece on predicting every game that the Browns play over the final 6 with Deshaun at quarterback. That comes out on Dog Pound Daily either tomorrow or maybe Friday. Whenever I get it to him. But I'm very optimistic about this. And like you said, Jack, until we are not mathematically in the playoffs, then we are. And something that I saw on Twitter a couple of days ago, our best shot at the playoffs might not even be the wild card with all these tiebreakers. It might be the division itself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
3 division games. You might have said it, Zach. It might have been you. I don't know. Someone said it. And 3 division games left. We're 2-1 in the division. If we can go 5-1 in the division, whew.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure how that really ends up playing out at the end. So, because I mean, strength of schedule, I think we have one of the weakest strengths of schedules for the final 6 games.
Weakest.
Yeah, behind, of course, the Chiefs, right? Like, who are the best team in the AFC right now. But I mean, that's beyond. I don't care about them, to be honest with you. If we can meet them in the playoff, that's different. Yeah, if we can meet them in the playoff, that's a different story. But yeah, I think we have like the second, like Jack said, the second weakest strength of schedule heading into the final 6 weeks. I don't know where Baltimore and Cincinnati were, but I know I heard Cincinnati's schedule is not looking good.
Cincinnati's up at the top, towards the top.
But they're starting to pick it up, and they're getting Jamar Chase back and stuff. Like, never count them out. But they're also the worst in the division when it comes to division games. So we always going to have their number. They lost to us with Jacoby. And to pick up on your point, Eddie, like, yeah, our offense is looking good, but our defense is starting to play. And I think they're starting to believe a little bit now that Watson is coming back. I think they're starting to get that belief, that hype around them a little bit. I'm not even going to go into saying, I keep hearing people say, well, if they play good the last 6 games, they're going to save Joe Woods' job. I think Joe Woods is gone regardless.
I think he is too.
Yeah, I think he had to dumb down his scheme, and I think that says a lot. So I think the fact that he had to even simplify his scheme for the team to even start clicking is not a good sign for Joe Woods. But, hey, if these next 6 weeks, if they want to ball out anyways, regardless, like, we need that. Like, we need them to – I think that was the most complete game we've played all year was against Tampa Bay. I would say that was the most complete game we played.
Yeah.
Every player you needed to step up stepped up when they needed to.
Yeah, so the strength of schedule, going back to that real quick, the Bengals have the 4th toughest schedule. Their remaining opponents have a win percentage of .591. The Browns are at 23 at .449, and the Ravens have the 2nd easiest schedule at .403. So, but the Ravens haven't been really like the Ravens of past years.
No, so, and no one really is scared of the Ravens passing game right now. Like, they're all trying to make Lamar play superhero ball, and because they don't have a burner as a wide receiver on the outside. Like, a lot of people say the Browns don't, but I would take Amari Cooper over any receiver the Ravens have. I would take DPJ over almost every receiver the Ravens have. Like, and I mean, obviously, like, we're going to keep talking about it because the return of Watson's happening, and a lot of fans are excited. The team is obviously freaking excited for this to happen. When you have a quarterback like Deshaun, any wide receiver in your team can look elite at any given week. Yeah. So that's just a given, And I mean, we talked about that before all this stuff went down. So when you have a quarterback like him, David Bell could look like a wide receiver one week. He really could. He could come out of the woodworks. Anthony Schwartz could be that deep threat that we all thought he could be. You never know. So.
Yeah, with the receivers, look what he did in Houston before, he sat out last year. He didn't have great receivers there. He had Hawkins and then traded him away. They had Brandon Cooks, and I couldn't tell you another Texans receiver that was on that team from that year. And he passed for almost 5,000 yards. So, and someone was saying the other day about Bell. I'm glad you said his name because it just triggered something that I saw the other day. Look for him more in the red zone now. He's a big body. He had a lot of red zone targets in college, and Deshaun can find him and might not be necessarily David Njoku or Harrison Bryant or either Cooper or DPJ, it could be David Bell, and I'm very excited for him because I thought for sure once we got him, I was like, oh, sweet. David Bell's going to have a great rookie year. And he hasn't been bad. It's just he doesn't get the volume.
No, yeah. I mean, he kind of was just a body out there for a little bit. Like when Jacoby was out there throwing the ball, he's one of those quarterbacks where he's going to pick his safety nets, especially when we're playing from behind like we were a few weeks. You're not going to go out there and you're just, okay, like let's spread the ball around. Jacoby's going to go look for Amari Cooper and DPJ. And Njoku was out for a little bit too. So it makes it a little tougher on a quarterback like Jacoby, who was here to be a game manager, but then we had to play from behind. He had to take over games. Doesn't make your job any easier.
No. But I mean, the crazy part is that even though, I think we all had a lot of high expectations for David Bell, and obviously he hasn't reached those, and that's that's just understandable because he's like the fourth option at best, maybe. Like if you're not counting maybe targets even for Nick or Kareem. But if you look at just how well this offense has actually been playing, and I know we talked about it a little bit a couple of days ago, just in the group chat where we were just talking about how this passing offense, if you look at the numbers from this passing offense, just from this year, just from the first 11 games, and you compare it to even just last year's, the whole season, all 17 games, it's like a night and day difference, just how much more effective the pass is in this offense. And even though the run game, just because of how much more the opponents have to take into account, that guy Bell and David Njoku especially are huge threats. Like, I mean, last year, our number one receiver, I think, was DPJ with like 590 something yards.
Mm-hmm.
DPJ almost has that many yards in 11 games, and Amari Cooper has 800 yards through 11 games. So I mean, this offense is just so good, and I mean, I got to give props to Jacoby. He played way better than a lot of us thought he was going to play. I know we all thought that he would be passable, but he's been absolutely fantastic, and he played really great this weekend too. He did have a couple of rough drives there where just nothing really happened. But props to him for being able to get us at least down in that drive, making that big throw to David.
Oh yeah, and that was
first I read,
dude.
Oh my god,
Dude, I thought he overthrew him. I was like, well, that's the game, but that's got to be one of the catches of the year right there.
Absolutely,
that has to be, dude.
I mean, a game time.
I don't think it's better than the Justin Jefferson catch.
I mean,
but I do think it is right behind it. I think that might be the second best catch of the entire year.
Yeah, it's up there.
Yeah, I honest to God thought he sailed it, and I was like, oh my god, great, there that goes. But then the camera pans and there's Njoku, boom, one arm, his left hand, boom, brings it down. I was at my buddy's house, like, oh shit, like no way, and I was like, God, they missed the extra point.
Yeah, I mean, no, that's the part. That's the scary part is that I remember I was about to leave the game. So after we punted it, with 2 minutes left, we were about to leave, and we walked out, and right before we left, I turned around and I saw Brady get sacked, and I saw DPJ went back to the 45. So we stayed, went back, saw David get the touchdown, and then I said, okay, no, we have to stay. But at the same time, there was a terror because I'm like, we gave Tom 35 seconds. He has 3 timeouts. And I thought we were going to lose that game. I 100%, just the Browns in me and just watching Brady for too long, knew that was an opportunity for Brady to come back and have another game-winning drive on us. Thank God that somehow didn't happen. The defense really came to play. Like, Zach, you talked about it, how the defense has been looking really solid. I mean, they played a really good game. I mean, a lot of it comes on the back of, Martin Emerson completely shutting down Mike Evans.
Dude,
and
we'll get into that. Oh my!
And I mean, just our edges playing really well. Finally, seeing good linebacker play. There was just a lot of good stuff happening. Now, obviously, Rashad White had that big break-off run. I thought that was going to be a trend throughout the entire game, that he was just going to be breaking off these big runs. But they were able to stop the run. I mean, they had barely any yards.
They had 96 rushing yards the entire game.
And 57 came on the first drive.
Yeah, so I mean, it was quick. They really did a good job of keeping Brady and Rashad White in check. I mean, Chris Godwin looked looked really good, but he was really the only guy that you could really point to and say that guy had a good day. Everyone else was kind of average. And for Tom Brady, only scoring 17 points, that's below average.
And that's what I love about
those receptions at 9, and he only had 45 yards. So
yeah,
a lot of those out of the backfield dump offs.
That's what I love. I mean, yeah, Godwin went off. You know, I mean that's gonna happen. Chris Godwin's a monster, but Mike Evans, 2 receptions, 31 yards
on 9 targets.
Yeah, against Martin Emerson, and I
None
don't think
none
of them were on Martin Emerson. Yeah, exactly.
He
none of them
tweeted
were
that
on
out.
Martin Emerson.
He corrected someone's 0 catches, 0 yards, and I thought about it. I went back and looked, and I was like, "Damn, he really did limit him to nothing."
Yeah, that's what I love, because you could tell that game in the passing game plan. The game plan was for Tom Brady to attack Martin Emerson. That was his game plan. He thought, I'm going to attack the rookie. We're going to let Mike Evans just go off on Martin Emerson. Martin Emerson is proving to be possibly, Jacob Roach said it, I said cornerback 2. He's looking like cornerback 1 to a lot of people. A lot of people are thinking this dude is going to be that elite. I could see it. He's a big body cornerback. He can match up with any big wide receiver in the league right now. Maybe not speed for speed, but dude, he's versatile, and he's looking like a very good pick. And a lot of people, he was high on a lot of people's draft boards. The fact that he fell to us is shocking too.
He had 4 pass breakups on Sunday against the Bucs.
I think he has like some of the most pass breakups in the NFL this year, with like 11 or something like that.
There's only 3 people or 3 other corners that have more than him. And the fact that he's doing that as a rookie, and the fact that Denzel Ward just played like ass all season, outside of like a game and a half, he was getting torched on Sunday. He got torched by like every member of the receiving corps on the first drive alone. Like
he was the one that was mostly covering Godwin, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
But even so, like when they switch off, in the first drive, everyone, not that they necessarily got the ball, but they beat him almost every time. But Emerson has been fantastic. There's a couple games, obviously, had some rookie struggles, which you're going to have. But a lot of times this year, a lot of people are like, oh, he's going to replace Troy Hill in the slot. Well, that's not Martin Emerson's game. No, Joe Woods is, whether he's starting to figure it out or, finally realizing, hey, that's not working, he's putting him more like in man-to-man coverage, and we're seeing the results, and it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, I was shocked by his PFF grade, but I mean, obviously, when you're targeted that much, when he played every single snap. He played 69 out of 69 snaps. So his PFF grade was a 64, which that kind of, was shocking, but his coverage grade was a 66, which is good when you go up against Mike Evans almost the entire game. So, I mean, talking about snap totals, though, real quick. I mean, Myles Garrett, when was the last time he played 65 snaps in a game?
I don't know.
So out of 69 total snaps, 2 on defense. So that right there, like, I think this team is starting to really like the fact that they're starting to believe a little more and show a little bit more of like hope. Even what Njoku said after the game, like we're not dead. That shit's over with. Like at 4-7, these dudes are talking like they're about to go make that playoff push, and they really believe they can. So
well, I'll tell you what, you kind of asked the question earlier, like how important is this win? This win was super important because I think just keeping, like, obviously beating Tom Brady is like a huge like rallying point, but also I think it's just the fact that it really was a full team win. Like they needed everybody to show up and compete and do their jobs to really win that game. This wasn't a game where like the offense did all the work and the defense kind of just came along for the ride. This wasn't a game where the defense completely dominated and the offense could kind of just do whatever they wanted. They really needed both sides of the ball to do their job. The defense did their job, got key stops when they needed to, limited Tom Brady in the run game, and then the offense came out and they struggled. But at the end of the day, they got down the field. Nick Chubb got us into close to the red zone, and then Jacoby made the pass, and then we get to overtime, and you just see again big stops, big plays. And, it's just complimentary football. And that's what you like to see. And especially in a win like this, that gets you still in that range. If they had lost, they probably would have been completely eliminated. It would have just been a 0% chance. But now that there's at least a chance, They know that if we just win every game, if we do what's in our own power, there's still a chance.
Just
I think
control
that
your own destiny week to week now. Yep.
that completely changes their outlook on the season. It makes it so that they can go into every game still feeling like they have a chance, still feeling they have something to fight for. And especially now that you feel like you have a quarterback who can elevate the offense further above what it already, how good it already is. I mean, it's a top 5 offense. It's obvious that this game could possibly be the catalyst to like the rest of the season in terms of how much that they can win or how much energy they have for the rest of these games.
Yeah, and then they get 3 division games, and then the non-divisional games are against what I think are, there's no such thing as easy teams, but inferior teams to them. The Texans are inferior to them. The Texans aren't just a slouch team. I was reading something about them earlier. Like, they're not just a slouch team despite their record.
Last few weeks they've been slouch.
Yeah.
Last few weeks they've been slouch. I think they want to lose at this point.
They do.
Yeah. But then you have the Commanders later on. Well, it's Saints and Commanders after the 2 division games. Saints are hit and miss. They really not anything special this year. The Commanders are playing well lately. I think they have the best record since whatever, they're 5-1 in that span. They start off 1-4 or something. They're playing good football, and they have a talented roster. A lot of it is similar to what the Browns roster is. But that's a game that the Browns need to take care of. And but before we can even get to that, it starts 1-0 on this Sunday. Before we can go to 6-0, we have to get to 1-0. And with a quarterback like Deshaun, that's going to help the defense tremendously, because some of those drives that Jacoby couldn't get the yards for the first down, whether it be 3 and out or they get the first down and then go 3 and out, Deshaun is going to make those plays, and he's going to be able to make them with his feet and with his arm. And that's just exciting. So I think the defense is sort of like buying into that a little bit, because I thought this was the best defensive performance they had all season. Maybe outside of like the Pittsburgh game early in the season, but to limit the Bucs to 96 rushing yards after allowing 366 the previous 2 games to the Dolphins and Bills, I was like, okay, Tom Brady's going to do Tom Brady things. You can't stop every facet of it. He threw for 246, 2 touchdowns, but they also sacked him 3 times. Myles Garrett had 1.5, including the big one in overtime. So to see that, and then the defense can build off that. We thought they were going to build off it from Cincinnati, but then you go and look at it. Dolphins and Bills, that's not.
It's a hard task.
That's a hard task to do, and then they exploited them in the run game, is what they did. And then now this week they shut down the run game, and what's his face, Pierce from the Texans is a good runner. So hopefully, the Browns build off this and like, all right, finally we have our quarterback now. Let's shut this running back down.
Yeah. Well, if we want to get into talking about this upcoming matchup against the Texans, we can start with Dameon Pierce, because that's really the only player you have to worry about on the Houston.
But to be honest, and the only reason I know this dude is because he's my running back 2 in my money league. So, dude, these teams have been going up 30 on them the last 2 weeks, and Dameon Pierce is just non-existent.
Yeah, so because look, part of that
he's not like a receiving back, dude. He's just he's not runner.
He is a pure power runner. And the thing is, though, is that in the way that the Houston Texans is currently constructed, there is no threat to the pass game at all. No one's afraid of Davis Mills. No one's afraid of Kyle Allen. No one's afraid of even Brandon Cooks at this point, because just like you're not going to be able to really get him any sort of into any sort of open space where he's going to be able to make a play. So at this point, most teams are just like, well, we're just going to load the box. Dameon Pierce won't be able to, find the gap and make big plays and get you down into the red zone. And once that happens, they just completely shut down on offense, and then you have a team go up double digits on them, and then the game's over. So, I mean, Dameon Pierce at this point, like, it's unfortunate because he is such a bright star for the Texans. He's going to be a big piece of their offense going forward. But just this year, because there's no other real threats for him to really, take the pressure off of him. I mean, it just makes it easier for defenses to scheme. And I hope that the Browns do the same thing. I hope that they come and they bring basically every single person that they can and put them on the line and say, try to run on us or try to throw. And, we have 3 corners who are elite that can really, basically take any guy out of the game that they want. Unless maybe sometimes they're on Denzel Ward, in which case they just get open for no reason. But I mean, I'm super excited to see how the Browns, tackle this offense, considering that this is probably the offense where they can really get a lot of confidence, really maybe test out some schemes that maybe they couldn't do against an offense that has way more weapons that they have to account for.
Yeah, speaking on that, some of my notes I'm writing for the predictions piece, the Texans average 279 yards per game on offense. That's dead last in the NFL.
Yeah.
So this is one of those games where the defense can't overlook them by any means, because when they do that, they get gashed and all that. Because I think they overlooked the Miami running game, and then Mike McDaniel's like, "Yeah, no, you think we're going to beat you with Tua? Well, we are, but we're going to beat you here on the ground too."
Yeah.
So that's promising. So like you said, I think this is a game where you can work out a few more things that you normally would. Then the next week, starts the two big back-to-back division games, Bengals and Ravens. But yeah, I'm excited for that. And another thing I'm excited when I was doing this research, they are dead last also in rushing yards allowed per game going to the offensive side. So that bodes well for Nick Chubb. Hopefully Kareem Hunt. I hope with Deshaun Watson there, Kareem Hunt is a little bit better. He has not been very good this year. This seems like he's like, running in the mud, like just not going anywhere.
Yeah. I've been noticing that too.
Runs, and it just looks like he's just running in place, and he's not.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's just that they're honing in on him. So I'm very excited for that aspect of the game too. But the defense, this could be one of those games where Garrett has 3 sacks and gets after whoever it is at quarterback this week, Mills, Allen, whoever it is, which then ignites the offense and they go do their thing.
I mean, I thought he had 2 sacks last game. He had 1.5 sacks.
It was
last
1.5.
game. Yeah.
And him and Clowney got Brady on the one, which really it should have been his. But as he was bringing him down, here comes Clowney to get the top half of Brady. That's what happened there. But then he did get the crucial sack in overtime. When he got
I thought Taven. Oh, it was Jordan Elliott. I thought Taven Bryan had a sack. It was Jordan Elliott. So I'm just kind of going over that here. I mean, dude, the defense just played. They played like a cohesive unit finally, man. Like I haven't seen it like that. I mean, obviously we saw it against the Bengals, but that was just a full blown takeover from start to finish for the Browns. But this was a game where it's like you've kind of felt it, like, oh, okay, here's the point in the game where they just roll over and die. And I even tweeted it. I'm like, here we go. Here's the predictable Browns defense and offense. It's time for them to give up. Time for them to move on. Get on next week. And as soon as I tweeted it, it all changed. You started making some stops. You started getting some momentum, and all of a sudden, it just started clicking. And it's kind of what happened last year too, towards the back half of the season, where the defensive unit just started clicking. Why we can't do it all year long, I don't know, but let's just hope it just continues.
Yeah, I couldn't have said that better, honestly. Like you said earlier, that I feel we've said it when we did the matchup of our 2 shows a couple weeks ago. We said that was a complete game they played against. They played a complete game against the Ravens, played a dominating complete game against the Bengals. Now they had to do that against 2 superior teams, and obviously the defense was fine for a little bit. The first half, and the second half, boom. Here comes the Dolphins and Bills doing what they do. But yeah, the defense just, there was no complaining this week. I didn't see anyone like pointing fingers or upset. Even when Chris Godwin was torching them, like, you're not going to stop all of that offense. Like him and Evans and Julio Jones, who's on the back half of his career, obviously, you're not going to stop all of them. So one of them can get theirs, and one of them got theirs, and it didn't matter in the end. So, yeah, I just feel that finally Miles finally just shut up and went after the quarterback, because week in and week out, he's always bitching about someone. And a lot of it's indirectly too, which a lot of people did not like. And see, I'm a big Miles fan, but the more I was reading about this, the more I was talking to different people about it, I'm just like, he's not really that good of a leader. Like, he really isn't. Like, if he's not out there making all these plays and the defense isn't doing their thing, then it's the coaching scheme, or the coach's fault, or the player's fault, like not running hard enough, blah, 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 whatever. But now that's one of those games where it's, all right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to put my head down and I'm going to work. What do you say? He had 65 snaps out of 69? Yeah, I don't know the last time he played that many snaps, honestly.
I usually see him on the sidelines a lot throughout the game, because every time he goes to the sidelines to get a breather, the camera's always panning to Myles Garrett. They always try to find him when he's off the field. So I'm used to seeing that at least 4 or 5 times a game on TV, and then all of a sudden this game, I was like, dude, Miles has been out there like a lot. And because he was out there a lot, he made more plays. He was a game changer. He was the game changer that he's always been, but it's just been tough this year because other than outside of Clowney, he doesn't really have that help. No. So, I mean, Tony Field stepped up big. What's his name? Thomas Graham. Like, he stepped in for AJ Green. Like, people just stepped in and knew their role and trusted in themselves and the people beside them to do what they were supposed to do. And this defense just clicked from I mean, yeah, obviously we had the moment, like I said, where I thought we were gonna roll over and die, but like after that, it was fun to watch. It was a fun team to watch, and it was with Jacoby, and it just felt electric. Jack, how did it feel in the stadium, by the way?
Oh, honestly, it was really pretty impressive how everyone was able to kind of keep up their spirits, considering that, especially in the fourth quarter, started to rain. It had held out basically the whole day, and then it got really cold and really rainy, like right at the end. So the fact that like no one left, like you would have thought that at some point during like the fourth quarter, when we're not doing anything, and then we're punting the ball away, and it's looking dire, and then it starts to rain, and then everyone's leaving. No one left. Everyone was still there, and I mean the energy was insane, especially on like on the sack when Amari got that big catch. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, that catch by David was just like the whole stadium was insanely loud. And again, just the fact that they were able to be that excited, like the fact that there were still that many people there, I was surprised because I was under the impression that everyone was going to finally be like, okay, it's cold and rainy, I'm leaving, because it had been sunny or like kind of temperate all day. So no, that was super. It was great inside the stadium.
I thought for sure I'd see people leaving, like just from the TV aspect of it, when Cooper dropped that pass.
Oh no, that was
that was killer.
That's when I thought, I was like, all right, well, this game's probably over with. Then they go out and the defense gets a huge stop, gets the ball back for the offense, and they march right down the field like it was.
That's what I'm saying.
And I was just like, see, when they have to play complementary football, every team in the NFL does. Some teams can get away with weaker defenses, and some teams obviously cannot. The way they did that, I was like, okay. Speaking of the stadium, you were there. Were you near the skunk?
I wasn't. The skunk was at the other side.
Okay.
Poor skunk, dude.
I heard the skunk was chill though. I heard it was fun. Yeah.
Hey, the Browns went 2-0 when rodents were in the
hold on, rodents
or whatever the hell they're called. Are they rodents?
No, I think skunks are weasels, and then possums are marsupials. They're different things.
Well, varmint. That's the word. Varmint.
Yeah, we'll use that. We'll use that. That word is.
They're 2-0.
They are 2-0.
They had a possum in the stadium a few years ago, and now the skunk. So maybe we just get rally skunks and just throw them all throughout the stadium. Who knows?
So I want to kind of go over the tiebreakers real quick because obviously we're gonna need some teams to start falling. Yeah. Starting tomorrow.
Yep.
We need the Patriots to lose to the Bills. But let's kind of go over this. So we got the Patriots facing the Bills tomorrow night. We need the Jets to lose to the Vikings. Like you kind of look at this, you're kind of like, oh, okay. Where's the other one I was looking for? Raiders against the Chargers. That's
that could be a coin flip.
Yeah, that could be a coin flip. Am I missing any other tiebreakers when it comes to just the AFC wildcard picture?
The Patriots.
The Patriots and Bills.
Oh, Bills. Yeah, okay. Never mind.
The Bengals need to lose to the Chiefs.
Yeah,
because they're ahead of.
That's division too. I mean, Broncos. I don't think the Broncos are going to beat the Ravens, but if they do, let's ride.
All right. I doubt we'll be riding, but the Jaguars also lose to the Lions, which that could be a toss-up game. Like the Lions battled the Bills tough.
Good. Dude, that was a good game. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So. I mean, week by week, of course, but when you look at this picture, it's like I could see it happening, man. I could see some sort of little miracle. After next week, I'm sure Browns just take care of business. I'm sure it'll jump up from I think right now it's a 7% chance to make the playoffs.
Something like that.
Which is better than nothing. Oh no, it was 7% chance to Ken Carmen. It was 4% chance through ESPN. Actually, that's what it was.
Yeah, so we need the rest of the season. We need the AFC East to beat up on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
literally.
the top two teams to take care of the bottom two teams. Because right now the Dolphins are 8-3, as are the Bills. The Dolphins own the tiebreaker over them. So the Dolphins have played 3 divisional games. Bills have played 2. The Jets have played 4. Patriots have played 3. So over the next 6 weeks, we're going to get these interactions of these teams. So we need really the Dolphins and Bills to beat up on the Jets and Patriots. And that starts tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
man.
I mean, obviously, the biggest thing that needs to happen is the Browns just need to win. Everything else, they can't control anything else. They can only control what's in front of them. And that starts Sunday. So I'm very excited for the matchup. Like I said, they're no slouch team. Over the past couple weeks, they just got trounced. Last week, it was over like in the first quarter, I think. It was like 14-0 or 17-0. And it just, like Tua didn't even have to do much. He's my starting quarterback in one of my leagues. And he only threw for 299 and a touchdown. And it's like, oh, it's usually solid. But it didn't garner very many points in that. I mean, I still won the week, but I was like, dang, Tua, what the heck? And I realized that they got a defensive score, got a couple rushing touchdowns. I was like, oh, okay. And then I thought about it, and I was like, man, if we can win this game against the Bucs, we get Deshaun, that makes things a little bit easier against the Texans. So
it would have been nice to have one more, just one more.
Yep.
And we should have had a few more. I won't even live in the past, but
no, we should beat the Jets. We should have beat the Chargers,
Falcons.
Is there someone else I'm missing? Ravens. We are one play away from beating them. An offensive pass interference call that was horseshit, as we all know.
Yeah, I mean, they don't call that play like consistently enough for them to have done it the way that they did. It was terrible, but sometimes the league doesn't like us. I don't know why. I can't imagine why.
Well, I do not like the versus the world mentality. Like, I think that gets a little played out, but that was just such an egregious call. But can't dwell on it now.
Yeah.
And speaking, we talked about Brandon Cooks earlier. Man, what I would have done to have the Browns trade for him at the trade deadline and pair him back up with, put him in this offense with Brissett, and then put him in this offense back with his guy Watson. Oh man, that would have been fantastic. But now we have to shut him down, which I don't know if that's that hard these days.
I don't know. I don't think he has any give a shit meter anymore with that team. They're a glorified XFL team, dude. They are. They're not playing for anything right now. They want the number 1 pick. They want Young or they want Stroud, whoever they're going to pick. Which, if I was a team tanking for a quarterback, I'd wait for next year and take Drake May. But
here we go. A little draft
what?
talk of things. I don't even. I
doesn't matter to us. It doesn't matter to us.
After. That's right.
It doesn't matter to us whatsoever.
I mean, it won't matter to us. That's right. But on the season, Cooks 40 catches, 520 yards, and 1 touchdown. So very pedestrian on his account for what we're all used to seeing of Brandon Cooks.
Yeah. I mean, You kind of look at Brandon Cooks every year as like, no matter who his quarterback is, that dude's 1,000-yard wide receiver every single season. He just consistently can put up 1,000 yards a season. This is the first time I've seen him where he was just like, he's just playing like he doesn't give a shit, and he doesn't really have to give a shit, dude. Like, he didn't sign that extension to tank. You don't. Yeah. No player really signs extensions to tank like that. So they should have done him right. They should have done him right and traded him at the deadline.
Right. And at the same time, people are like, oh, like some of my friends bitch, why did Deshaun sign the contract? We didn't want to play for them. Because you get your money. Like, you get your money. Like, if I was at a job right now and then another job is like, oh, hey, we'll give you twice as much money. Okay, let me sign that. And then I go there and it's shit. Well, I signed it. I'm going to take the money. Hopefully someone else gives me more money. And the Browns obviously did that when they made the trade. And that, it was obviously the thing that dominated the offseason. But I have not seen that many fans on Twitter, luckily this week, that have been bashing it. Deshaun. I've seen it here and there, but a lot of it just seems like Browns Twitter is like engaged. Whether those people that I know there's some that once the Bucs game ended, that was it for the Browns for them this year. And that's fine. That's their prerogative. But it just seems like everyone is uplifted. Everyone in Berea, everyone on Twitter, everyone doing podcasts and writing. It just. there's something about, and we even said when we did our show a couple weeks ago, going into the Bills game, we thought it was going to snow, which it did snow, and we thought it was going to be the snow game. Oh, here it comes! This is sweet. Win this somehow, beat the Bucs, and we're good to go. I mean, we didn't obviously win the Bills game, but we beat the Bucs, and now there's that glimmer of hope. Like you said, Jack, earlier, until that percentage is 0, there's hope.
That's right.
So, until you see that eliminated graphic,
that's right.
We're riding. We're barking. We're barking, bro.
Speaking of Deshaun and hope, would you guys start Tua this week against the 49ers or Deshaun against the Texans?
So I'm iffy about this. I have like a weird 50-50 feeling that he's either just gonna go off because he wants to send a message to the Texans and to the league in general, or that's the fantasy's gonna just be like, oh, this is gonna open up my run game even more. Like they're not gonna be able to like put 8 men in the box because how can you? You got Deshaun thrown on you now. So I'm iffy on that, dude. I feel like he could honestly have like just a coast game, but I also in the back of my mind think he's gonna just pop off like 4 or 5 touchdowns, dude. Like,
see, I think that maybe that's just the optimistic fan in me. Just thinks he's gonna come out and just show everyone like, hey, okay, you guys have said I haven't played in 2 years, and all this shit happened in the off season, and derailed my tenure with the Browns so far. I'm gonna come out and show everyone, it's fuck you guys. I'm here for a reason. They got me for a reason. I'm playing with
they're acting like this dude hasn't practiced though in 2 years either or worked out at all. Like I don't know if any of you guys read that article with MKC and Avery, the quarterback coach of Deshaun. But
no, not yet.
Yeah, I highly recommend reading that, dude. So,
or is that where he said that? I don't know. Maybe,
he was talking about how like this whole time leading up, like from the beginning of the season, the beginning of the trade to now, they've been practicing Stefanski's offense together. Like,
yeah, I did see that. I did see that.
Yeah, and how he said like how this offense is the most tailor-made, perfect offense for Deshaun Watson's, like, the type of player he is. So,
and it really is like.
I do think though that there is obviously the thing is that game speed is way different than practice.
Mm-hmm.
It's way different than even the preseason. I mean, and a lot of people want to point to the preseason. The preseason was with none of the starters, like all backup offensive linemen, no Chubb, no Hunt, no nothing. I mean, it was all dudes who are at this moment like the 3rd or 4th on the depth chart. So people want to point to that and say, oh, well, he looked really bad in preseason. That doesn't matter. He had 2 drives with backups. I think that he's
and your center blows his knee out on the first play.
And your center blows his knee out on the first play. I genuinely think that there is a very good chance that he comes out and he's average. Like he's okay. Like, obviously, he's not going to be terrible. I don't think he's going to, like, go out there and, like, throw, like, 3 interceptions and just be awful. I think that he might come out and be, like, 1 passing touchdown for, like, 230 yards, and then Nick Chubb just gets a bunch of work. Or maybe he gets another rushing touchdown. Like, he's not – I don't think he's going to light the world on fire, but I think that he will be – very solid. I think that he'll kind of just be what you expect him to be on a bad day. Just, nothing super crazy, but he still is efficient, does his job, but he's not going to be like 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, at least not right away. I think that it's going to be like they're going to ease him kind of into those kind of plays, just letting him get back into the flow of things.
Especially, Jack, especially to that point. Say we go up like 17-0 on these guys off the rip. Stefanski's going to run his offense. He's not just going to abandon that and go, okay, now let's go out and let's put up a 50 bomb on these dudes. No, Stefanski's going to be like, okay, let's control the clock. Let's win the game. Let's get on here. Let's start prepping for the Bengals again. Like, that's how it's going to be. That's how it's going to be. Stefanski's not going to change the offense crazy, but you're going to see RPOs. You're going to see a lot more of, because Chop said in the spaces today, he said you've been seeing a lot of more shotgun passing with Jacoby because they're getting the team ready for Watson's return, which is realistic. That is exactly what's going to happen. I think to your point earlier, Eddie, you're going to see Chubb and Hunt in the backfield out of the shotgun.
Yeah,
you're going to start seeing this stuff, dude.
The pistol a lot. And because we saw it a couple times last week, I noticed that, and they've done this throughout the season here and there, that they have Hunt line up as the fullback and Chubb as the halfback, and then Hunt goes and blocks and Chubb runs, and however much yards it gets. I noticed that a couple times the other day, and it caught me off guard, honestly, the first time. So I looked away for a second, I was just like this, and I looked back, and I was like, "Oh, Hunt's and he's gonna get the ball here." Well, I didn't realize that Chubb was behind him. I didn't see him on the screen, and then I was like, "Oh, why didn't he give it to Hunt? That's weird." And then, oh, there's Chubb. Okay, so I think we see a lot more of that too. So it might not necessarily be the pistol. It might be sometimes an I formation with Hunt instead of I know they used Froholt earlier as a fullback. Obviously, he's going to be doing the center duties, which hopefully that's something that somewhat worries me is Froholt to Deshaun, because Froholt hasn't been the center too long. He's had some miscues here and there. So hopefully that is figured out this week leading up to Sunday. Because I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, man, I hope that the backup center can get Deshaun the ball. So
I'm sure that was a priority. I'm sure that
Right.
they were being very sure to get him reps with Deshaun, ensuring that we don't see any fumbles. We don't see any, too high, low and high snaps last week that didn't really account to anything, but you hope that he can maybe just, iron those out, because this is going to be his third start as the starting center. So hopefully he'll be able to at least, just figure it out. I'm sure it's a learning curve, because I don't think he is a center. I'm pretty sure Froholt isn't he like a guard or something, like a backup guard, or am I misremembering?
He's either a guard or a tackle.
Yeah, like I don't think he's a center by trade. So I think give him a couple weeks. Hopefully this week he gets all the kinks filled out, and then hopefully he just comes out and he just is a center, which is all we really need him to be, just a good enough center.
I just need him to do better in the blocking game, because he's getting manhandled a lot. And I get it. The Bills front defensive front is tough, and the Bucs defensive front is tough. I wish I had all three of those guys in the Browns uniform, especially
Vita Vea, dude. Oh my god, man.
Watching the league,
he was giving Wyatt Teller hell, dude.
Right,
and
which Wyatt Teller has not been that great in the passing game, the blocking game this year. So hopefully that's figured out too. But I just can't help but be excited. Deshaun lifts the offense to even higher heights. They're already top 5 offense. So, I don't necessarily know if they go, 4-3-2 or 1. But I think the points will come with it more than, just the yards. Because a lot of times we see the Browns fail to score points and they leave them on the off the board and on the field somehow. And, I think that's what's going to help this defense. If they can play with the lead, like you said earlier, then it's going to be a little bit different, because then the Texans are going to be forced to pass a lot more, which means Myles Garrett's going to have a lot more opportunities to get after whoever is quarterback. I don't even know if they named the starter yet.
I think it's going to be Allen, because, they asked him if you start. They asked him a question about starting, and he was like, "Well, be nice to me." Like that's the Texans' mindset, dude. Right now is, well, don't boo me if I suck.
Texans fans have nothing to boo. But
you're rebuilding. You're rebuilding. We've been there.
There might not even be a lot of Texans fans there. It'll
probably be a Browns home game. It'll probably feel like a Browns home game.
I've heard that there are a lot of tickets.
I know there's a couple other people said they're going. But wait a minute, I'm just looking, and I just saw something. Deshaun doesn't make his first Energy Stadium debut for the next 3 weeks, right? He has Texans and
2 weeks.
Texans,
well, yeah, I
Bengals,
guess 3 weeks.
Week 15,
3 weeks. Yeah, 3 weeks.
That stadium is going to be so electric, and I wish I had tickets for that, because that shit is going to be rocking. The first time he throws a touchdown or rushes one, and then the guitar comes out. Oh my god!
Yeah,
that's the perfect. Kadero Hodge did that, and everyone loved it.
Man, that was a preseason game.
But it's a city of rock and roll, dude.
Yeah.
When you bring out that guitar. But my brother Matt actually bought tickets for that Week 15 game, Week 1, because they were cheap. And he's like, "Oh, dude," he goes, that could be a playoff game, Lamar versus Watson. Dude, let's go. But I'm not going. I'm not sitting in the fucking cold. I don't care.
That's half the fun,
dude. I'll build a dome and I'll go. I'm one of those guys.
You drink enough beer, you don't feel that cold.
Yeah, I guess
the Muni Law beers or whatever they're called, the Muni beer or
Listen,
Muni Law
I've sat in a lot of cold snow games throughout my life already. Last year I went to 2 years ago. 3 years ago, dude, I think it was actually. I don't even remember. It was the year where the come get me rumors came out. I think it was Freddie Kitchens season, right? Probably the end of Freddie Kitchens season.
Yeah.
Was that is that year, Eddie?
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to,
2019.
Fancy had him in
We
2020.
played the Bengals last game of the season, and all those rumors came out. OBJ and Landry said, "Come get me to the 49ers." OBJ and Landry said, "Come get me to Tom Brady."
Yeah,
I went to that game. I literally had to leave in the third quarter because I didn't dress for the weather, dude. My legs were freezing off, bro. So I was like, after that, I'm like, I don't know if I can ever do another December game. But
I went to the Garrett hitting Rudolph with his helmet game, and at first I was freezing cold, like I was freezing. And it was me, my girlfriend, and my dad and stepmom and stepbrother. When we get to the parking garage, my dad and stepmom and stepbrother, they're like putting on all this winter hunting gear. I'm like, what the hell are you guys doing? And my stepbrother's like, I don't like being cold. Like, I hate the cold. And I'm like, well, why the hell would you come to this? Like, it's December, November, whatever it was in Cleveland. I was like, whatever. So I have like a pair of sweats and maybe another pair of sweats on top of that, a hoodie and a coat with my jersey on my hoodie and then a coat. And I was like, all right, cool. I was so cold for like the first little bit, and I got one of those, it was some sort of like spicy hamburger or something. Like, it came with like spicy sauce on it. So my nose is just going left and right. So then I started drinking, and I'm drinking, and I don't know how many I had, but after a while, I was like, all right, cool. Like, this means nothing to me. So the more you drink, the better you are.
Yeah, well, I usually drive. So
well, week one, I know you weren't in too good shape. So hopefully, you had other transportation.
Week one,
when we had the tailgate party
at platform.
Yes. Speaking of OBJ, you just brought him up. His free agent tour kicks off Thursday with a visit to the Giants. Continues Friday in Buffalo with the Bills, and then goes to Dallas on Monday with the Cowboys.
He's going to Dallas. But all right, Jack, what's your record? We're doing predictions.
25 and 22. Or 23. 25 and 23.
25 and 23. Yeah. Tyler texted us saying he's 32, 15-1. I don't know how he has 4 extra games.
He doesn't. That's 48.
All right. I'm 28 and 14. Eddie, you're going to participate this week?
All right, sure.
Games. So we're going to start with the Browns.
You said 28 and 14?
I am, yeah.
You're missing weeks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or are you missing weeks?
I think me and you have the same amount of games. Tyler has 4 extra games.
Well, did you guys pick games the week that me and you did the show?
No, that's why I think we're Tyler did
pick games without you guys.
Well, Tyler and Jack picked, but I was.
Did you miss? I drank too much
whiskey that night. I didn't make any predictions.
Okay, you were missing, so you missed that week.
This sounds like some Curb Your Enthusiasm stuff.
So you lose by default. Good to know. Okay.
No. I'm on a hot streak right now, dude.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so tell us what Zach put down. What are Zach was predicting for this week?
Me?
Or I'm sorry, what's Tyler predicting?
Tyler predicted the Browns to beat Houston 31-17.
Okay. I like it.
Huh. I don't remember the last time I picked the Browns to win, so it might not be.
Neither do I. I don't remember either. When was the last time he predicted? I don't remember. Doesn't matter. All I know is that I've predicted them to win every week, and therefore I have benefited 4 times out of 11 weeks. So, I guess 12 weeks.
Did Tyler pick him to beat Buccaneers? I wasn't on last week.
Did he? Don't think he did. I don't think he did. I don't think he did. I'm pretty sure he did not predict that. I obviously think that the Browns are going to beat the Texans. I think that this is going to be a good old fashioned rout early in the game. I think it's going to be something like 34 to 16.
So I'll give the only one of my 6 game predictions. I'm going to predict the score on my predictions piece for Dog Pound Daily. And I'll give this score, and I'll explain why you can read on Dog Pound Daily tomorrow or Friday of why that is. 31-10 Browns. 31-10.
All right.
Okay.
I have the Brown. Okay. Here we go. Here's me being optimistic. Here's me being ready for a franchise quarterback. I got Browns 42, Houston 13.
42. This guy's crazy.
No, I don't think I am, bro.
I love
I
it.
don't think I am. So we'll get into the rest. So Eddie, what we usually do, I know I told you 2 weeks ago, we usually pick 3 other teams on top of the Browns, 3 other games. We call them the lock picks, presented by Underdog Fantasy.
That's right.
So that is damn right. So Tyler's picks this week, I'll just go over that real quick. Tyler has the 49ers over the Dolphins,
Oof.
which I was like, okay, he's picking against Tua, his savior. He has the Seahawks over the Rams, and he has the Steelers over the Falcons, which I almost did not even say it. Like, why? Why would you even predict that, dude? But he has the Steelers over the Falcons.
I do like that Seahawks pick. That was one that I was going to say, the Seahawks over the Rams.
Oh, you
Well, I
can
think
pick the same games. You can pick the
okay.
same games. Yeah.
Let's see.
So we'll start with Eddie, go down to Jack, and then back up to me.
So I'll do the Seahawks over the Rams.
Okay.
And then I will
do one game at a time. Do one game at a time.
Okay.
You know, I want to pick between one of these cats because the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Detroit Lions are playing, and it's really hard for me to choose which one I think is the better team right now, or at least is going to win.
The Jags to lose. So
I know we technically need the Jags to lose. I honestly do think that the Detroit Lions are playing really good football right now, and I think that the Detroit Lions can beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that they can definitely do that. So I'm going to choose the Detroit Lions over the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nice. My first game, I'm picking a tiebreaker loss for us. So I'm going Bills over Patriots. We need the Patriots to lose. Bills are going to pull through tomorrow night, Thursday Night Football.
I hope Gabe Davis is involved in that. Like, I really need to actually do something. That'd be cool.
I benched him this week, so I don't know if he will be. Patriots secondary is good.
It is good, but
I'm playing Garrett Wilson, bro. I'm putting Garrett Wilson over this.
So am I. So am I. I have Garrett Wilson in as my second wide receiver behind Diggs.
CeeDee Lamb and Garrett Wilson, baby.
Oh, let's see. Let me just get another help for us. Let me get the Chiefs to rout the Bengals.
There we go. That's going to be a good game. I think that's going to actually be a competitive game.
See, I hope not. I hope they get their ass beat, and then the next week.
Oh yeah, of course.
Get their ass beat again.
Yeah, I think that I agree. I wish that. I think it's going to be a good game.
AFC Championship rematch, bro. That's going to be a fun game.
Joe Burrow's never beat the Browns, by the way.
That is true.
What game? Wait a minute. What game got flexed? I thought there was a game that got flexed.
The Cowboys stay on Sunday night.
I swear a game got flexed, but maybe I'm
they
wrong.
should. Someone was talking about they wanted the Dolphins and 49ers to get flexed. I think that'd be the better option than to have the Cowboys and Colts, but I get it's the Cowboys, so.
So it's crazy because I want to pick between Las Vegas and Los Angeles, and it's hard because both these coaches suck, and they're underutilizing the talent on their roster. I'm just trying to think who's going to most underutilize their roster, and just from what I'm thinking, I mean, I'm thinking Las Vegas is better in this situation here. I mean, Josh Jacobs, they got Devontae. The way that Justin Herbert's been utilized is terrible. I got the Raiders.
You got the Raiders winning. Okay.
That's right.
As long as Austin Eckler goes off, I don't care what happens in that game.
Same here, buddy.
I agree.
Actually, I obviously want the Chargers to lose so we can be somewhat closer to them, even though they have the tiebreaker. Either team losing benefits us, though.
Yeah.
In a way.
All right. I'm going to go with that game you guys said was boring because obviously I'm picking all AFC teams slightly above us to lose. So I've got the Cowboys over the Colts.
Okay.
These might seem obvious. These might seem obvious, but it's just because I want the Browns to make their way up in this hunt.
Let's see. For the last one, you know what? I hate them so much. I'm going to take the Falcons over the Steelers.
Good shit, Eddie. There you go.
I really wanted to pick the Broncos over the Ravens, but Russ has more bathrooms in his house than he does touchdown passes this season.
Let Russ cook.
Yeah, he cooks something all right.
Ooh, Cavs won 113-85 against the Sixers.
Yeah, they destroyed them, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I think they shot 65%.
You know what? I think that the Washington Fighting Heinekes are going to beat the New York Giants.
I almost picked that too. I almost picked that game, but I was like, no, I just had to get my hate for the Steelers broadcasted.
That's respectable.
So you got the Commanders
over the New Jersey Giants.
Yes, New Jersey.
They are not New York.
Graphic earlier this year of how well the New York football teams are doing, and I quote tweeted and was like, "There's only one football team that actually plays in New York. The other two play in New Jersey. That's where WrestleMania 35 was, where I was, and you had to go into New York City to do all the other shit, and then go back to New Jersey to the Airbnb, and it was just annoying. Great stadium though, fantastic.
Who else do we need to lose? That's what I'm doing. Oh, we low-key need the Chargers and the Raiders to lose, huh?
But a tie hurt or help us?
Doesn't the tie technically hurt us?
Yeah, I think it's better than a loss, but it's not as good as a win. Yeah,
because think of it, we're 4-7, and the Colts are 4-7-1, and they're above us,
which is horseshit. But...
straight horseshit.
But they've had an extra game.
True. When's their bye week? Holy shit!
Next week I have to be.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs over the Bengals as well.
Yeah.
I have Patrick Mahomes in the league, so I just hope he shreds them because he didn't have as great of a week last week. I lost in my 2 quarterback league, and the guy had 0 points from 2 players.
I don't even remember who I picked for MVP this year. Oh, Josh Allen.
Yeah, you picked Josh Allen, and I picked Patrick Mahomes, and everyone thought I was a fucking crazy person. Like,
well, you're not crazy, Jack. Not for that.
I know. Gosh,
I think he's the clear winner this year, but it'll probably be Jalen Hurts just because of their record.
I don't think he's even close to Patrick Mahomes in MVP race. Like, I get that their record is, but some of my Cowboys friends, fan friends, are saying that Jalen Hurts is a great running back, similar to like Lamar talk, but.
No, that's just hate.
I don't know, dude.
That's just hating, man. That's just hating, man. Like, look, Jalen Hurts has been great. He's been awesome. But Patrick Mahomes is just so crazy. He's so out of this world above everybody else right now that you cannot deny that he's just the best quarterback in the league. He's the biggest. I mean, look, everyone knows MVP is just who is the best quarterback in the league. That's just how it is. So Patrick Mahomes is going to win the MVP award unless something crazy happens. Either unless Josh Allen goes crazy, Jalen Hurts goes crazy, like anybody. I mean, I hope to God that nobody thought that.
Yes, and it's without Tyreek, dude.
Yeah, okay, look, it's without Tyreek, but he has possibly the best tight end of all time. So I'm not gonna sit here and be like,
dude.
I get it, I understand, but you have a dude in Travis Kelce who has how many touchdowns this year?
Travis Kelce's insane, dude.
Like that guy's a monster. He can catch it at the 40, and you're like, oh, cool, he's gonna run it in for a touchdown. Like every time. The dude's insane. He's too mobile. He has too good of hands for a tight end. It's not fair. It shouldn't be allowed. I will not stand for this. The guy is too good.
He has 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, it's stupid.
73 catches, 912 yards.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's dumb. That guy, Travis Kelce's too good. So I love how everyone thought that he was gonna, regress without Tyreek. It's just like, no, Tyreek was just a bonus. I mean, Tyreek's insane. The fact that he's still super good in Miami, I honestly thought he was going to take a step back, but Tua has really, shown me that, he can be good if you give him, time and a coach that actually knows what he's doing.
That's right. Big Tua fan. Tyler and I, you guys see us talk about it in the group chat every now and then. I'm a big Tua guy. I thought coming in this year, I was like, yeah, he's going to be slept on this year, so let me get him in my league, and I have him, and I've benefited. I have him and Waddle, so I've benefited greatly. Well, outside of the times he was concussed, so.
My gosh.
I'll believe it when I see it. But
what do you mean you didn't see it?
No.
You've seen it he's 7-0 in his starts.
I'm getting the Baker Mayfield vibe off of
the team is 7-0 in his starts. He's not. QB wins are not a thing.
Oh my! You know what? I agree. I shouldn't have said that because
obviously you don't because you said it. You can't take it back.
No, because look, I'm also the biggest Jimmy G truther, and I do not believe in Jimmy G at all. So 100%
Jimmy G
understand.
won me a fantasy matchup a few weeks ago. I was down. What was it? I was down 30. I was down 30 coming into Monday Night Football. He got me 33, and I won.
He was real that one game.
Hey, that's all I needed it because Tua was on a bye. So thanks, Jimmy G. I appreciate it. Whenever you sit down to watch this after you're done watching film this week, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, man.
All right, boys. All right, I'm going to sign us off here soon. Anyone watching, please subscribe to the Network 216 YouTube channel. Greatly appreciated. We work hard. We really do. We got shows like basically every night of the week right now. More coming.
Yes.
You know, we got a Guardians podcast starting soon, Rocking at the Jake. They're working out their kinks now. Their night they're going to record. Jacob Roach is putting in overtime working on, big draft boards for us on our Patreon if you guys want to partake in that as well. He does I Agree Go Cavs. I jump in on there from time to time as a spot host. But everyone on this network is just working hard, doing what we can every night to bring you content while working full-time jobs. So, just trying to get to our dreams. So like, comment, subscribe on our YouTube channel. It's greatly appreciated. Homage. Yes, dude. Homage. Holy crap. We didn't even talk about them tonight, man. There's not much to really have to say anyways. They're the best clothing brand in Ohio, in my opinion. And they got all teams gear everywhere. Yeah, that's my bad for not talking about that. Jack, you're bad for not wearing any homage. So
Look, I have homage underneath my sweatshirt, dude.
That's how you promote it. That's how you do it.
Man, I'm gonna beat your ass, man. You better look out.
No, I'll let you off the hook because I forgot to even talk about it.
Yeah, that's what I thought, man. Tyler's gonna destroy you, man.
They seriously are.
Tyler, you should have just played the video. We have a video.
You know why they're also the best? Not only do they have all these cool sports ones and all the pop culture things, the pop culture for Christmas time too. They have Home Alone.
Oh,
shirts.
Dude, yeah.
There's so many of the Home Alone shirts I want. An extra cheese pizza, a lovely cheese pizza just for me. Look what you did, you little jerk. And then credit card, you got it with the Talk Boy on it. Fantastic Christmas vacation shirts. They have a Ralphie shirt from Christmas Story. Elf. There's a couple other ones. That's why I'm excited that we're partnering with them because how much cool shit is that? Like, I can't say. I said on my I probably talked about homage for like 3 or 4 minutes at the start of my show. Yeah. And I just can't say enough good things about them. Like, this shirt seriously is the most comfortable thing I've ever worn in my life. I hope the hoodies are the same way so when I can get a hoodie sometime.
Oh, dude. Absolutely comfortable. Love it.
What's the
probably my most worn. Dude.
The soft, like I can't tell if that's soft. I can't touch my screen.
It's soft.
Okay.
It's soft. Touch the screen.
Well, I am touching the screen, but that doesn't.
Just imagine.
Okay. I'll just touch my shirt as I touch the screen. I'm touching Zach.
There you go.
Okay,
there you go.
There we go.
God, this is a weird episode. This is getting weirder and weirder as it goes along.
It usually is towards the end because it's like, let's sign off and then everyone's like, oh shit, sponsors, and then oh yeah.
Is it?
Hey, code 216 for Underdog fans to use that. First $100.
That's right.
For the first $100.
It's gonna be so much better. It's gonna be so much better when sports betting in Ohio is legal starting in January.
Is that January for you guys?
That's right. January 1st.
Yep.
You just got in Maryland just last week or week before or something, and how you guys haven't had it this long? I don't understand because we have it in Pennsylvania, just not even that far from you guys. Obviously, the next state over.
Even with like the Jack Casino right downtown and everything,
right.
Like it's perfect for it. And no, I haven't had it.
Huh.
But I can't wait for that. Underdog is awesome. Like I said, there's no salary cap, none of that kind of stuff in Underdog. Just pick your team every single week. And I can't wait to do the daily pick'ems because that's my favorite kind of stuff to do. Like over-unders, that's my favorite kind of stuff to do. So, but for Eddie, for Jack, I'm Zach DeFranco. This is the Faithful Dogs podcast. Browns are going 6-0.
That's
Go
right.
Browns.
That's right, baby.
No Browns.